IOR190G fam? This week, one of the cases I'll be talking about is a patent case that deals with things that occur in nature, which is slightly different than the topic we're studying of patents dealing with mobile technology. But yet, this case will provide a different kind of lens as to how we can understand patent law and what kind of function it performs in other industries. So in this case, the biggest question was whether things that occur in nature can be patented by companies and, whether they can keep a monopoly on them or whether they aren't eligible because they occur in nature and things that occur in nature shouldn't be patented. And so this case brought on by a company called Myriad, or brought on by plaintiffs, including universities, patent advocacy groups, certain individuals, claiming that the company who was a defendant here, Myriad Genetics, basically should not have those patents because of the fact that things in nature should not be patented. And they argued that, and the case took a really interesting trip. Started off in the lower court. Myriad lost, they appealed it, they lost again, or it got sent down. There ended up being about 5 decisions or so issued here, which is a really interesting case and what kind of precedent it's going to set. Basically, what ended up happening is these patents were claimed invalid because DNA sequences cannot be patented. So this company, Myriad, found the sequence for these certain cancer genes called BCRA genes. And once they sequenced them, they came out with a diagnostic tool, which is how they made their money and how they grew to be from a startup to $500 million in revenue over 1,000 workers because of these 4 patents. But basically now that these patents are invalid, this calls into question whether the other 2,000 patents for DNA sequences are valid or invalid. And, this calls into question what kind of other biological things can be patented. The court suggested that any manipulated DNA called cDNA, which, occurs in labs and kind of gets manipulated with scientists, they determined that can be patented, but no other things occurring in nature can be patented. It's really vague, and I personally think it's going to cause problems going forward, especially for Myriad, and it's going to cause a lot of confusion. Nevertheless, I personally completely agree with it, and I don't think DNA should be sequenced, or DNA sequences should be patented, and that universities should have the potential ability to research with them. And these patents were not allowing scientific innovation for science research to continue. So that's why I completely agree with the decision in this case.